Some new fundraising numbers shared exclusively with NBC News show former President Trump's 2024 campaign getting off to an underwhelming start financially. In other words, he's kind of strapped for campaign cash. Mr. Trump raising $9.5 million in the last 6 weeks of 2022, which is $2 million less than he raised in the 6 weeks before his launch. That relatively weak return now triggering kind of a revamp or a rethink inside the Trump campaign for what's expected to be a competitive Republican primary in the next year. NBC News senior politics reporter John Allen helped break this exclusive story along with our colleague Mark Caputo. So, John, there's an argument to be made and there was the argument that was being made before Mr. Trump announced his campaign so soon after the midterms, that this could be, in fact, problematic here. Talk about the timing. Talk about what Team Trump plans to do about this.
Sure, absolutely. And if you look inside these numbers, the 9.5 million, Hallie, there are about 300,000 donors that he got money from. 99.48% of those donors are under that $200 limit, which means that about 3,000 of his donors are people giving $200 or more. So he's still got that small dollar fundraising base. But in terms of the time of this announcement, Donald Trump was anxious to announce, super anxious to announce. He wanted to do it as early as July. He ended up getting convinced not to do it before the midterms. And then as a result, when he anxiously got out and announced the campaign right after the midterms, he's doing so in kind of a fundraising doldrums. For all campaigns, they know that immediately after an election, it's harder to raise money. In addition to that, Mr. Trump has been banned from Facebook since January 6th. Well, technically January 7th, but basically since inciting the riot at the Capitol. So he has not had that platform to use to do fundraising since he launched the campaign. But he's going to get that back. Facebook is going to allow him back. So that'll be helpful to him. And of course, he is starting to build out the fundraising operation, a clear acknowledgement that it's not going the way he would like. He's hired a new digital vendor to do that fundraising in addition to the one that he already had. We're probably going to see something like a traditional big money structure from his campaign as well, where you have bundlers that get checks at big fundraising events.
So you've laid out some of the reasons why it's believed that he could, in fact, bolster some of his campaign cash here. What about his potential Republican rivals here, right? Because once they announce, they will begin fundraising, too. The former president likely has the, of course, biggest name recognition out of any of them in the mix so far.
Yeah, and what a lot of these other folks are going to do is go to big donors. For instance, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, all signs are that he's certainly thinking about running for president and probably going to get into the race. He just ran a race in Florida that he won by 20 points. Donors all over the country were given to that race. This is somebody who has the capacity to raise hundreds of millions of dollars. There are several other candidates that might get in the race. Mike Pence, the former vice president, for example, who have longtime donors to their campaign. So, you can expect that this is going to be an expensive race for the Republican primary, and it's just starting out. But, Trump has seen some donor fatigue. The guy hits his donors with fundraising requests day in and day out, and he's going to have to figure out how to get them rejuvenated.